Hey, Tom, how are you?
I'm good, buddy. How are you?
Not bad. So obviously Idaho's got a different coaching staff this year and obviously played Washington State pretty close. Just what stood out to you about them on film? How are they just a different team? How do they operate differently under new staff?
Yeah, you got new scheme, on all three phases and not a lot of film, to really evaluate. Yeah, there's no question. You go back and evaluate. Coach Ed came from a very, very good program there. South Dakota State, one of the top programs in the country at the FCS level. So does a tremendous job offensively. We've studied their film extensively. Got one game against Washington State. They've got some dynamic receivers that caught our attention, some dynamic running backs that I think are really, really talented, and a really talented young quarterback. So that's, to me, is what draws my attention. I saw athletes on defense flying around. They create a lot of trouble for Washington State's offense, caused 3 fumbles. One, they scooped and scored for a touchdown and put themselves in position to win the game in the fourth quarter. Had the ball, driving to go score it, and then go for the win. So what sticks out to me is a more disciplined team, executed well for their first game. And I just saw athletes run around. They got a lot of new players, a lot of new faces. I feel like that they have a really good system on both sides of the ball and special teams. They're very sound and put their guys in the right spots. And like I said, they got guys that can make plays, and they made plays against a Pac-12 team at critical times, especially out there at wide receiver. And I think that to me is what you look for. You look for guys that are making plays against elite talent, and that's what they were able to do. So it's a team we got to be able to play our best, and that's what we're going to focus on, is being fundamentally sound. We got to get better. We got to improve ourselves on offense, defense, and special teams as well, the areas we've talked about and addressed as a team. And that's going to be critical for us to be able to come out the way we want to go on Saturday.
Jack.
Tom, we asked you about this, I guess, in a few different ways, but I was just curious, especially as you've had the week to kind of look back on Illinois, your first game back calling defensive plays. I mean, how did you feel it went for you, both in terms of the preparation aspect, maybe thinking about that process 3-4 years ago as compared to now, and also just how do you think you did on game day, essentially?
I would say the process portion of it felt pretty good. We had a rhythm that I've gotten into over the years that we got back to, but got some new people I'm doing it with. So that's an adjustment part, and being able to get the schedule. And then the week was a little bit modified because of playing on Friday night and the way that you flow and schedule things. So, but I felt like that it was smooth from a communication, information we're getting from the press box, information. My biggest concern was the sideline. When we come off the field, getting those adjustments with the new group of coaches. I thought Chad did a tremendous job with that. Was very, very good communicating with both the guys that had to collect the data, the coaches on the field, as well as getting that communicated to me so we get things fixed. So I thought that was good. I didn't think I need to do a better job calling plays. There was 2 or 3 calls I wish I could have back. I didn't like the calls I made in those situations. So I thought I was a little rusty in that regard, but I'll get better. And so I feel like that, as an overall performance, wasn't pleased with how we stopped the run, but I was very pleased with our takeaways and our red zone, score zone defense. And that's where we were able to win the game.
Jack and Mike.
Hey, Tom. I guess first, is the plan still to go with Parker Hannon to replace Matt Bedford? And if so, how have you seen him respond to that challenge this week in practice?
That is the plan. And, I feel like he's responded very well. We'll see. He gets a chance to prove it on game day like everybody else does. So, but that's why he came here, was for this opportunity. And so he needs to step up and elevate his play and rise to the occasion. So that's what we expect him to do. And also Josh Sales has been given opportunities now to be able to step up and elevate his play as well. And other younger players that we have on our roster. So Parker's worked really hard. He's very, very bright, a tough kid, played a lot of football. And so now I'm excited to see him get a chance to perform in the Big Ten.
I can tell.
But you were pretty open about how significant the Illinois game was. And of course, everybody knows how the Idaho game went last year. I'm curious how you're handling the dynamic of those two things this week with just ensuring that there's no letdown in the locker room.
Well, it's been a major focus. probably one of the reasons why my voice is more strained than normal, maybe on a Thursday. It's pretty intense today from start to finish, starting in the team meeting. Just I want to make sure we understand it's kind of been this way all week for me, the urgency about our preparation, because it's about us getting better. And any level of focusing on what happened a year ago and think that's how it's going to be again is just false. And so fortunately, we got a lot of new faces, and we got a team full of guys that still have a really bad taste in their mouth about how the season went a year ago. So to me, that combination is going to create a focus and an edge that we have to play our best football. And anytime you take the field, you have a standard that you represent in both your position room and as a football team. And to me, we have to play to that standard. So that's been the focus, and that's what's going to be from right now until the bitter end of kickoff. And then as kickoff ensues, we got to play with a fever pitch of intensity, toughness, grit, and fight.
Hey, Coach. Hope you're doing well. I wanted to ask about Sean Shivers. I guess generally, just what is your favorite part about coaching?
I tell you what, from the very beginning, there's a charisma about him. He's enjoyable to be around. First of all, he's a funny guy, but I love his work ethic. I love his toughness. I love his grit. I love his attitude. He probably just typified, he took a pretty significant shot on that opening play and took a shot to the chest and knocked wind out of him without question. But man, he came right back and didn't blink, and so I just didn't surprise me. He's such a tough kid, works so hard, got such a great mindset in the weight room. He's a team leader. He practices hard every single day. He brings that grit and toughness and fight to your team that you have to have. And he brings an edge about him to our team. And he's got that edge, and he plays with that edge, and he's developed that over time. And that's why he's been successful. That's why he is where he is for his stature. So love him, love his mindset, love what he brings to his team. I'm just anxious to get him going and get him out there and letting him show what he can do.
All right. Thanks, Tom.
Awesome. Have a great day, Elio.